Hey everyone, I'm Joanna, yoga and meditation teacher, Reiki master, sound healing practitioner, and sacred cacao facilitator. You're listening to the Vibrational Shift podcast, dedicated to people looking to reconnect with themselves. Together, we'll explore different energy healing modalities, meditations, breathwork, sound healing, and so much more. Are you ready to experience a vibrational shift with me? Welcome to season 3 of the Vibrational Shift podcast. It's me, your host, Joanna. I'm excited to release this season. Every week, I'll be dropping new audio and video episodes with seasoned practitioners in the healing space from across the country. For those of you that are new to me, welcome. I'm the owner of Luna Serenity, a wellness business focused on helping you find your way back to self-love through meditation, yoga, breathwork, sound healing, and cacao circles, and community-centered retreats where you can come home to yourself. I'm a first-generation Latina, daughter of immigrants, and as a mother of 2, my path to self-discovery was set in motion more than 13 years ago. My practices have formed the foundation of reconnecting and reclaiming my ancestral roots. I'm a 500-hour registered yoga teacher with specializations in prenatal and fertility yoga. I have dedicated training in meditation and contemplative practices. I'm an Usui Reiki master, crystalline consciousness technique practitioner, and a sound healing practitioner. For more information on ways to connect, you can get details at lunaserenity.com. You can connect with me on IG and Facebook over at Luna Serenity Yoga, on YouTube now at Luna Serenity Yoga as well. And I'm currently offering a free 3-day self-love challenge in my Luna Serenity community group. It's linked in the notes. It's completely free, and it's for you to jumpstart your self-love practice. If you'd like to purchase an accompanying jumpstart guide, you can get it for just $6.97, also linked in the notes. Let's get into it. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Dante Baker. He's a very talented healing practitioner based in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. He also leads us through a beautiful sound healing practice at the end with his Maya drone flute. And I'll catch you on the other side. I am thrilled to have Dante Baker on today. Dante is a passionate, creative, and multi-talented man serving his community through the holistic healing arts. It's Dante's philosophy that people can heal themselves from any physical, mental, and emotional ailment with the correct guidance and application of discipline. I came across Dante through a shared community, I think, because we are both sound practitioners in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. One of the studios that I do quite a bit of work at, I had seen that he was going to be there, and I had reached out. Actually, I reached out a while ago. I had almost forgotten about it until I started talking right now. And I feel like we keep missing each other, or we're like trailing one another. You just did an event with the Sunday Love group. I did one a couple months back, and I'm doing one in 2 weeks with them. And so when I was thinking, who do I want on for season 3, I immediately, as I was going through the list, I was like, I want to see if I can get Dante on here. And so this is actually this is our first conversation ever together, and I'm thrilled to have you on the Vibrational Shift. So welcome, Dante.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I know I just read a little bit about who you are, but maybe you could tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and all of the other modalities that you also have as a part of your practice.
Yes. So I am very passionate about holistic health. And the way that I look at holistic health is mind, body, spirit. The body is the temple for the mind and the spirit. And the energy that runs through us is our emotions. And it's really important for us to really get in touch with our physical body and all the other aspects of ourselves. And we can do that through movement, through breath, through our diet. Healing, it could be mantras, it could be a lot of different things. And so my biggest thing is to give people tools. So that's a little bit about me, is really just providing people with the tools that they can use to help them with all the stresses that's in their life. Like, I mean, we have so many with relationships, with our work, with what's going on in the world. And so we get stressed out about our nervous system turns on. And at the same time, there's so many tools out there where we can shift our vibration, shift our energy to allow ourselves to process what's going on through us. So that's my mission every day.
And can you tell us a little bit about the different modalities? Like, I know you through sound, but I've also seen some of your other offerings that you have in your repertoire.
Yeah. So personal training is what I started off with. My mom was a big influence with that. She was a personal trainer when I was really young. She worked at this all women's workout gym. And so um I did a personal training since I was like 18. I'm 34 now, and did it all through like for like 7, 8 years at one gym at the YMCA. But then within those 7 years, I saw how people needed a little bit more with their body. People were really tight and had a lot of issues. And there was another personal trainer who was a massage therapist, and he influenced me a lot. He was really helping his clients, and so I was like, okay, I want to do massage therapy. And massage therapy is what I went into. And that opened up to other modalities. There's people who were doing Qigong in my massage class. And so I was like, wow, I want to understand that. And so I went to a Qigong practitioner that was in the area in Silver Spring. His name is Nianzo Lee. And then I also wanted to get a little bit deeper into the energy of the body. So Tui Na is a Chinese form of body work. And I did that for 9 months. It was a 2 year program. I didn't get to finish it because of financial reasons, but it did open me up to just more qigong and understanding like the basics of Chinese medicine. And so after that, I wanted to do yoga. So I took my yoga training. I went to Mexico and did like this big, like immersive training for 17 days. Morning, like I got up at 6 or 7 a.m., did my neti pot breathing practice with them, and then all the way until the evening time where we would read the Bhagavad Gita and go into philosophy. And so I thought the yoga was really amazing. Doing like that extensive immersive training was nice. Um, but I talked to a fellow yoga instructor. She said that if you do like an immersive training like that, then it's good to do like a longer program. So I did my 300-hour with Beloved Yoga right at the time of the pandemic. So like at
Mm-hmm.
first we met in person, and then everything shut down. I was like, okay, we're gonna do everything online. I'm like, okay, not exactly what I wanted, but I did it. Um, but I still got a lot of good things out of it. And in the midst of all that, sound healing came because of an experience that I had at I would say in Peru. I did a dieta with ayahuasca, and where we did ayahuasca. We did a lot of cleansing, using the herbs to cleanse. I was by myself in the forest, and it allowed me to be with nature and all the sounds of nature, like the birds, the vibration of the trees,
Mm.
the water. And it allowed me to understand that vibration is everything, and that it's important for us to connect with the frequencies that are harmonic and that are harmonic to our physical body, because our body is not separate from nature. And so it made me just realize how much we need that. And so I tapped into my own voice. I did a lot of toning with my own voice. And after that, I was like, yeah, I really want to get into sound healing. I had friends that my mom knew when I was younger that had bowls, so I was already exposed to that. And at the same time, I said yes, I want to work with bowls, and so I got my first crystal bowl, and then started to collect more and more and more metal bowls, crystal bowls, um, and yeah, so yeah, just I would say all, and then detoxification. That's another avenue. I did a detoxification course with Dr. Robert Morris, and that affected me in a different way, where it's like food is vibration, the quality of herbs, there's something to them. They again affect the body, and again, my biggest philosophy is nature knows how to heal if you understand it and communicate it like with it well. You just have to open yourself up to it. So the vibration of foods, the vibration of the sounds, um, can again heal and create harmony. So that's that's where I'm at.
Yeah, there's so many different things that I was like, ooh, like the hearing you mention the vocal toning piece and how that was such a big part of what you were doing initially. One of the first trainings that I did, I remember I had been exposed to vocal toning the very first time about 9 years ago when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. The teacher I had us making vowel sounds as a way to create connection with baby. And I remember the first time I ever did it, I thought it was so weird, but I also couldn't deny how good my body felt
Mhm.
from doing it. And then fast forward, I did my first, when I did that first sound healing training, the teacher had us spend an entire day on vocal toning. I believe it was called the Tom Kenyon approach. And so we went off into pairs, and I was already a Reiki master at the time. So I had this sense of energy, right? Like I could tell when energy was moving, and we got into our pairs. And I remember thinking, this is going to be the part where I get so uncomfortable. I have this thing around my voice and the sound and all of it came to a head in those like little one-on-one sessions we had to do where we kind of allowed the sound to flow out of us to provide we went in there with an intention, so the person receiving had their intention of what they wanted, and it could be something as one of the ones that I'm thinking of that I did was this particular person wanted to heal a relationship and wanted to help move the energy that she was holding onto around this relationship. And I remember taking a deep breath and just saying, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to let myself get in my own way here. And the sounds that came out, I remember just that feeling of the exchange of her receiving and me. It was like I got lost in, I like my mind checked out for a moment. And it was all based on the feeling and the sounds that were coming out. I remember when I came out, like we only did it for about 3 or 5 minutes, but when I stepped back, I was like, whoa, this is incredible. Like when you could allow yourself to really go to a place of deep intention and using your own voice to do that. So when you were talking about the vocal toning, my mind went to a couple of different places of like, I don't practice it as often. It's not a part of like my regular practice when I'm sitting in meditation and wanting to chant or vocal tone. Like I don't do that as often, but I feel like a little inspired that today's practice later will definitely include that.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah. And the other thing that you said with the immersive experience you had with yoga teacher training, and then right with the pandemic, I really relate to what you were saying, like all these different trainings that you took, how they kind of opened up the door. I did that, but literally right before the pandemic. So I had just gone, I think before we started recording, I was telling you, I had just gone on like a slew of trainings. I had started back in 2017. I did a 200-hour, and then I did my 300-hour as soon as that was over. And in between those, I did Reiki 1, 2, and 3. And then I found sound healing. And then I did, like, it was just continuous for a good 3.5 years. And then everything, like, we all went to Zoom and we were doing different types of trainings and lessons and everything like that. But I remember being so grateful. It's like, that everything opened up the door to the next thing. And it sounds like you had a similar experience of, being exposed to it at a young age, but then each one that you took, you were able to open up another door to another modality.
Yeah. Yeah. I opened up to another door. The biggest thing that I was open to was learning and knowing that I didn't have all the answers, and I knew that I wanted to just be of service, and being open to that type of mindset, having that mentality of I just want to serve, I want to heal, I want to help, and allowed me to connect with wonderful teachers, wonderful people who knew how to help in their way. And I just felt like I could take what they had and make that a part of what I want to offer. So yeah, especially with the qigong, like that really helped me because I've always been into movement, and but there's something about doing qigong that just allows you to relax into movements. You're able to really feel into the earth when you're stepping, and you take things like slow with qigong. You're just everything is about being slow, being patient, being kind to yourself if you like mess up or you lose your balance. And it's so nourishing. After the end of the practice. So I and it also represents my personality. Like my personality is calm, cool, collective, being aware. And so I just think a lot of these practices they bring out the best of us. And that's really what it's about. It's like we want to be our best selves, our true selves. We want to be aware of what's going on inside of us. And these practices gives us the opportunity to be ourselves, to know and tap into our own internal power, and to tap into forces that we're really not used to. I mean, a lot of people, again, like they go to work, they either work a 9 to 5, and then they go home. They might be engaged into something that is trying to numb them from the pain or from working so long. And so we don't really just get a chance to take out all the distractions and just go within and see like what's inside. And so I just feel like everything that I've done, all these different practices, is just tools to allow us to just open up and see what's inside, to crack the chest and see all the jewels that are inside. And it just you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper the more you do that. So that's been the gifts of all these different modalities, and just the learning piece. Again, learning is powerful. I think everyone, if it's not, qigong or yoga, just learning about other different topics, psychology. I mean, I have like tons of books on the mind, and so I just love, again, just love to learn. And I think learning is a process, and when you like start to really immerse yourself in stuff like this, then you have opportunities to apply it in your life. So it's beautiful.
Hmm. So, one of the things that I love asking folks when they come on is if you're able to point to a time in your life where you knew that you needed a shift and
Mhm.
how you knew that you needed it. I think some of the things that people point to is that they're noticing different changes in themselves. Like, this is not how I want to be. This is not how I want to carry on in this particular situation. I'm just wondering if there are points in your life where you can think of where you knew that you needed a shift and how you knew that you needed that shift.
Yeah, absolutely. So my biggest themes has been relationships. So relationships have been a big point in my life where it's like, okay, I need to turn either left or turn right. Um, and I think in the past, when I was, let's say, in like a really long-term relationship, um, you come to those points where it's like, the like you're a good person, that they're a great person, and then at this time, but what's happening is all your shadows, your triggers, your the things that you don't want to look at comes to the surface, and it's like it's hitting each other. Like you're doing this, they're doing this, and you're doing this, you're doing this. It becomes a one big cycle. And so when you're in that like unhealthy, we'll call it toxic relationship, then it's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much pain. Um, so I've been there several times. And when I was in that like really unhealthy, toxic relationship, I knew that I needed to just to leave, to go and be with myself, take the tools that I do have and just really clear myself from the toxicity of what was given to me and then what came up out of me, and then to really go in, tap into my inner source, and then say, okay, what do I want? Because when I say, like, what do I want? What do I need? What do I value? There's a power behind that. There's a power behind those words. And words are vibrations. Our intentions is a vibration. And so just me knowing that when I make the sound om, there's that om is connected to the cosmic universe. It's connected to a very powerful high vibration. So I have to be super mindful of what I'm asking, what I am manifesting in my life. And so taking that time for myself, clearing out all the debris, all the negativity, and saying like, what do I want? What do I deserve? And really see that manifest in my life, see it like it's happening in the moment, then I know I'm drawing that particular vibration into my reality, into my present. And so when I've done that, then life does change. So it's mainly been like, okay, you have all these tools, Dante, sit and use them, like use them in your life. And this relationship is very painful, it's hard, but use these tools to help you get through. Because if you don't, then even if you leave the relationship and connect to another person, it's going to be the same pattern no matter what, until you shift your vibration, until you shift your thought patterns, until you shift your perspectives. It can be the same pattern over and over, no matter what the face is. So yeah, that's that's been it.
Yeah. And the tools that you've leaned on, like when you say that you have all of these tools and you go and you sit with yourself. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like hearing you talk, I was like, oh yeah, like listen to, I feel like step one for most people that some people may never even get to is like that awareness, that level of awareness, like you were saying, of the patterns and the different things that continue to show themselves. Um, what are some of the tools that you're using when you're going to go sit with yourself, when you're removing yourself from those situations to be like, all right, here are the three questions I need to ask myself, or at least the three that I heard you say right now? What are some of those tools that you're using?
Absolutely. So I found that changing your breath pattern changes your mind, because the breath is connected to the mind and the body. And so when I slow down my breath, taking deep breaths from the diaphragm, that changes the entire nervous system, connects to the parasympathetic, connects to that vagus nerve. So changing the breathing pattern is step one. And then when I'm there, I connect to the physical body. So, how is the physical body responding to my thoughts? So, I might have the thought of the person, then my body might have this physical emotional reaction. So then I say, okay, well, that's there. Let me retrain my body how it's responding to my thoughts. Let me continue to take deep breaths, breathing, knowing that I'm feeling safe, I'm feeling secure, and that there is no like boogeyman out there. There's nothing that's trying to harm me right now in this moment. So when I continue to do that, then I shift the narrative, which is, I believe that stories are powerful. And like when you think of like, I don't know, Avengers, like I'm sure we thought about like the stories that the Avengers went through, or X-Men and all these things. There's certain themes that superheroes go through, and even themed like stories in the Bible, like they've lasted a long time for a really important reason, is because story is a part of our human psychology. And it, on a personal level, it's the stories that we tell ourselves that plays out in our lives. And so I really begin to sit with myself and say, okay, what story am I playing out in my life? What do I believe? And how is it showing up in this particular relationship? How am I being triggered? What is my response when I get triggered? How do I, and so, and then I say, okay, oh, I identify it. Let me shift my nervous system to where I'm calmer. I'm not reacting, I'm responding. I'm saying I'm able to now set my boundaries very clearly, knowing what I do want and what I will not accept. And then saying, okay, well, and then I go back to, okay, well, what do they want? What do they need? Am I acknowledging their needs? Am I being empathetic? Really questioning myself. And so I I sit with that. And again, it all again comes back to shifting my breath, getting myself in a calm place, and then going into my own subconscious of what triggers me so I can shift that trigger and be in a more responsive way. It's the word responsibility, the ability to respond. So having more responsibility in what I say, what I do, and how I show up with whoever I'm in front of, especially the closest people in my life.
Thank you so much for breaking it down so clearly. I think those are the breath is so powerful, right? Hearing you describe that, I made me think of just instances in my life when I finally unlocked the power of breath and that it was something that I could access and I could be in a situation, whether it be at work in a meeting or in a conversation with someone who could be triggering me, that it's something I could do without anyone else necessarily having to know or putting a sign on me saying I'm triggered right now because I have the ability to shift my breath and to really keep myself in a place of clarity because when we allow ourselves, like when our bodies start to get triggered and our mind is racing with, like, what am I going to come back with? Or what am I going to say in response? Everything you just mentioned, I thought was like beautiful way to think about how when we are able to calm the breath, identify what that trigger is. I love the way that you said the responsibility. It's like giving you yourself the chance to actually respond without coming from a place of being heightened, is what I think of as, like, I've been around many situations in my life where you see two people are just having that kind of back and forth where they're not giving themselves a chance to just take a pause, literally what we hear growing up, like take a deep breath.
Mhm.
But it carries so much more weight now after, the last like 6, 7 years where I've really dove into this. It's like, man, they were telling me this all along. And I just didn't even realize the power of the breath. Like, take a deep breath,
Mhm.
take a moment for yourself, gather yourself because the breath has the ability to do that.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that, Dante.
Welcome.
Before we shift into the practice, I'd love to maybe have you talk a little bit about how people can connect with you. What are some upcoming offerings that you have? This is your time to share it with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. So I do have a sound healing training that I'm doing, and it's like a level one sound healing training. I've done sound healing for 13 years now. And with my sound healing, it's grown, it's evolved. I've done a lot of trial and error, definitely a lot of trial and error. And then also, I've looked into research. I've read lots of different books. I even have some books right here in front of me, like how to heal with the singing bowls. I work with Tibetan metal bowls. I work with crystal bowls, chimes, flutes, um, the didgeridoo, pan drum, and so a lot of it has been my own experiences, my own learnings, my own teachings, and then listening to other people's education, putting all this stuff together in just a 6 hour course to get people who are already practitioners who teach yoga and help them utilize these sound healing equipment, the bowls, and how to construct a simple class for others. And so that's going to be October 28th from 12:30 to 6:30 at Mind Your Body Oasis. That's in Arlington. So I'm doing that. That's in Arlington, Virginia. And then let's see. I would say that's the biggest one I would say that I would be sharing. And then I do like online holistic health consultation. So if you're interested, definitely connect with me. And like the main thing I do provide is helping people with their movement. So it could be either doing again, I've done personal training. So using the equipment that's in their home, something simple such as their body weight, resistant bands, stability balls, whatever they have that they can use in their house. And then I'll do either yoga, any sort of like again movement. Movement's so important. And then I help people with their diet, um, shifting that, changing that, whatever they need to do. A lot of it is about scheduling. A lot of people have a scheduling problem where they say like, "Oh, I don't eat anything all day, and then I get really hungry." And so, really talking to people about how to schedule and put together a meal plan that works with your schedule. And then I work with people with meditation, breath work, and then working with herbs. And so I really listen to people. Like, for example, one client, she wants to lose weight, she wants to work out, and at the same time, she sleeps, her sleep is off. Her sleep is off. She goes to sleep like at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, has to get up at 6. And so even though like I know a great workout plan for her, I know we can't do the workout plan unless we shift the sleep. So getting her on herbs that will help her sleep and then doing the breath practice, that's the focus at this stage. And so like I really talk to people, listen to people, and provide something that is best for their lifestyle. And everyone is really different. Sometimes like I look at social media and there's like a bunch of different workout programs, and there's a lot of different meditations, and I think those things are great. I think it's cool to like look at people's videos and try new things. And at the same time, every single person is different. Everyone has a unique lifestyle, and what will work for one person may not work for the other. And I think talking to someone about that can help like shift give them a different perspective about what they want to accomplish. So that's what I offer online and then also in person if you're in the DMV area.
Perfect. And what's your website?
Website is holisticdante.com.
And how can they find you on social media?
Type in holistic Dante is easy, or Dante Baker, but yeah, holistic Dante, and you'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, Dante Baker. I have music on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Insight Timer. So you can just type in Dante Baker, and they're all recordings of my bowls. So the metal bowls, the chimes that I have, yeah, metal bowls, chimes. I have flutes that I've recorded on Spotify. Excuse me, and then also on SoundCloud, and then on SoundCloud I have some ecstatic dances recordings. So I have some like really cool upbeat dance uh tracks playlist that you can listen to.
Great. I will put those all in the show notes so that people can easily find them. And I'm going to actually turn it over to you, Dante, to lead us through a practice. And before we started recording, he grabbed his flute and I got so excited. So I will pass the mic to you, Dante, now.
Awesome. All right, thank you. So yeah, this flute right here, it's a wooden drone flute. And every flute is in a particular key. It's a pentatonic scale, but this is in the key of D. And the flutes are tradition to Native Americans, both from the North and the South. I think it's amazing what they did. They just found wood, made holes, like made holes in the wood, and music came out of it. So either they were instructed by, I think a lot of the different instruments, they were instructed by nature. Nature somehow said to them, "Hey, do this, and you're going to make something really beautiful." So this is really powerful. And then the last thing is that I feel a connection to the flute through my own Native American heritage. My mom is connected to, she has ancestors with the Cherokee. So it's definitely, I feel connected from an ancestral place. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. So breathing in through your nose, and then you can take a deep breath out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose, and then deep breath out through your mouth. Good. One more time, deep breath in through your nose, and then breathing out through your mouth. Good. So now continue to breathe in and out through your nose. So as you breathe in, allow your belly to soften, expanding your diaphragm, expanding the solar plex. Then breathing out through the nose, allow the chest to deflate, the belly to soften. And continue to breathe slowly. You can breathe in for 3 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds. Then breathe out for 3 to 4 seconds. Or just watch the breath. Connect to any emotions that may arise, any sensation. Be with yourself just for a few minutes. Taking a few more deep breaths. Just being with your body, the energy that flowed through. Take this moment to give gratitude for the moment, for this time to connect with yourself. When you feel ready, you may gently begin to open your eyes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dante. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of The Vibrational Shift. Be sure to tune in next week for my conversation with April Curry. She's an Akashic Records reader. She's going to tell us all about the records, how she started reading them, and is going to guide us through a beautiful meditation and practice of being able to tap into our intuition and to speak to our higher selves. As always, I love to hear from you guys. Be sure to reach out. I'm at Luna Serenity Yoga on Instagram, at lunaserenity.com, and I will see you next week.